Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, hi, how are you? My name is Megan. I'm a registered nurse and I work in home health. My goal with this channel is to build a community of nurses or other healthcare workers. It means so much to me if you could like, subscribe, and drop a comment. The focus of this channel is for you, the healthcare worker. Is nursing worth it in 2025? Now, there's not a concrete answer to that question. It completely depends on your personality type and how you regulate yourself and your nervous system, whether or not you can connect with patients, and if you find it rewarding to help other people. Different personalities for different jobs out there. And so today, I'm going to give you my take on whether I think nursing would be a good fit for you in 2025. So I cannot stress enough how important it is to determine the type of nursing you want to do. I hated working at the hospital so much. I was not myself when I worked there. I was depressed, I was getting chest pain, I was so angry and miserable all the time. That is not sustainable. Your job should never make you feel like that, even a stressful job. Home health is still stressful, but it's a stress that I can actually manage. Any profession out there, you're gonna have some degree of stress. However, if your work stress is impairing your ability to have a fulfilling life, that's an issue. When I first got into nursing, I didn't realize how many options there truly were. Luckily, I found home health. At first, I kind of hated it. I just didn't really understand how it worked because it's a totally different world than the hospital. But now that I've stuck it out, I absolutely love home health. It really is the ideal job for me at this point in my life. So a little bit about my path. I didn't start in med-surg. I started in psych because I didn't want to do med-surg. So I just so happened to start doing home health PRN when I was still working in psych at the hospital. I did end up going back to work at the hospital a few years into my career on a neurosurgical floor because I felt like I needed more skills experience. And I'm really grateful I did that. I also worked at a surgery center for a little while and I got super good at doing IVs there, a skill that I was previously terrified of. The hospital they worked at, we had a whole team of people to do our IVs. I know that's crazy, a nurse not knowing how to start an IV. I'm great at them now, but again, that's because I did a bunch of different types of nursing before I kind of landed in this home health endgame. I think home health is endgame for me. That brings me to the number one question you need to ask yourself before becoming a nurse. Can you regulate your nervous system in a healthy way? When you're a 10, how do you bring yourself down to a 5? When you're about to explode on somebody, how do you stop that from happening? Maybe you're a type of person that doesn't have a temper. Maybe you internalize it instead and you go cry in the bathroom and have an existential crisis. When we're in fight or flight for so long, as a lot of us are as nurses, we get kind of addicted to that cortisol and we just stay there all the time. That is not sustainable, it's not healthy, and eventually you're going to develop a whole host of health, mental, and physical issues if you don't learn how to bring yourself down in a healthy way. A lot of people, nurses included, try to regulate themselves in unhealthy ways, smoking, drinking, doom scrolling, or worse. We're all human. It's important to learn how to regulate your own system so that you don't blow and fail yourself or your patients. The last thing you want to do is make a traumatic situation more traumatic for your patients and their family because you freaked out. And I've been that person, and it's not a good feeling. So my biggest tip when it comes to self-regulation is know your own personal warning signs. When you're starting to get to that level 10, when you're at like a 7 or 8 and you're starting to just feel some type of way about a situation, that's the point that you need to stop, ask for help, and take a break. Now, I can't speak for that at the hospital because personally I was never able to do that at the hospital, which is why I left. In home care, it's really easy because I can get away to my car eventually when I feel like I'm about to, get there. So if you feel like you're heightened, take a break. Don't let it get to a level 10. To learn how to activate that vagus nerve, there's a ton of exercises you can do on YouTube. That's the nerve in our bodies that brings us from a state of fight or flight back down to homeostasis. Yoga activates the vagus nerve, breathing techniques. It's a skill that you improve over time. You teach your body how to regulate by doing exercises. And no, you can't skip it. You have to do these things if you want to regulate your nervous system in high stress. Take medication if you need to. Do you have to take medication? And am I telling you to take medication? Absolutely not. I'm not a doctor. This is not medical advice. I am just suggesting that you give yourself permission to do what you need to do to have a better functioning quality of life. And don't forget the basics. Exercise, eat healthy, and get enough sleep. None of us are perfect. We all go through stuff where we eat junk food, or we don't sleep enough, or we don't exercise enough. We gain weight, we lose weight. You do want to really try to take care of yourself. You don't want to be the nurse in the room that is severely overweight, smokes cigarettes, drinks wine every single night, trying to give her patients medical advice. Come at me if you want to for that comment. It's true. Patients, they notice and pick up on that stuff. If you're not a healthy person, they are going to be kind of questioning the advice you're giving them because they see that you're not taking your own advice. Take that as you will. That's an observation of mine. It's so freaking important. I cannot stress it enough to be able to connect with your patients. Does that mean you have to be an extrovert? Absolutely not. I am not an extrovert. I do not like to socialize on my days off. I don't like talking to people when I'm not working. Am I good at connecting with people? Abso-freaking-lutely. And there's a little simple trick that works on even the grumpiest old man. Find something you have in common with that patient and talk about it. It can be something as basic as the color blue. They're wearing a shirt that you like. Oh my gosh, I freaking love that color. That color teal looks so good on you. In my situation, I'm in people's homes, so it's easy for me to see what people are interested in because I just look around their house. They have a painting of their dog. I'll say, oh my gosh, that is such a cute painting. One thing leads to another, and then all of a sudden, you guys are buddies. However, circling back to boundaries, we always circle back to boundaries on this channel. You don't want to just go off on a tangent when you're supposed to be getting work done. Throw them a line, get that connection going, build that rapport, and then reel them back in. Say you're seeing Mr. Smith, he fell and broke his hip. Oh, Mr. Smith, is that a boat on your wall? Oh my gosh, I love boats. This sounds so stupid. What kind of boats do you like? I'm sorry, I'm laughing because I'm struggling to find a real example. But Mr. Smith all of a sudden lights up and starts talking to you about boats. And the next thing you know, you've been talking about boats for 20 minutes. Well, you're not there to talk about boats. You got to reel it in. No pun intended. So Mr. Smith, you were in the hospital for a fall. Have you been using your walker? Are you having pain in your hip? Blah-de, blah-de, blah. Bring it back. This is probably some of the best advice that my mom ever gave me, and that's always leave a situation better than how you found it. My mom is also a nurse. There you go. Okay. Does that mean you have to fix everything? Go above your pay grade? Go way beyond the call of duty? Absolutely not. 1%. You leave your patients 1% better than how you found them. I guarantee you, you're going to feel rewarded. They're going to feel happier. Things are going to be good. It's just a good feeling. When you build trust with your patients, that trust can genuinely change their outcomes. When they know that you're an intelligent person presenting them with facts and not opinions, they can actually start to implement those things in their lives should they choose. Don't skip the basics when you're teaching and educating your patients. Don't ever assume that your patients know all the basics about their disease process. Conversely, don't ever assume that they don't know. I cannot tell you how many times a patient has told me, thank you so much for explaining that to me. Don't ever assume that the basics are on their mind, because I can promise you, those packets that they take home from the hospital, the educational packets, they don't read those. Those sit on the countertop for me to find when I get in the home. Take the time, make eye contact, and educate your patients on what's going on. So, nursing in 2025, is it worth it? If you can regulate your nervous system in a healthy way, connect with patients while remaining professional, and stay organized? Yes. 1,000 times yes. If you want a rewarding career, nursing can definitely be that for you, but it does depend on if it's a right fit for your personality. If you can focus on making your patients feel 1% better than when you found them, it's a very rewarding experience, and that reward balances out the burnout. Because I didn't feel rewarded when I worked in the hospital, but I do when I work in home health. And I'm so much happier in my current job than I've ever been in my career in nursing. And I can honestly say, had I not found home health, I don't think I would still be a nurse. That being said, I know so many of my nurse friends that love working at the hospital. They love their different specialties. We absolutely need hospital nurses. I'm just not a good fit for that job description. I freak out when I'm under that much stress. I'm okay with admitting that. I'm human. I owe it to myself to be honest with myself so that I can set myself up for success in the future, and you do too. Everything we talk about on this channel is all about honesty and being candid, being human. This is a channel by a nurse for nurses. If this helped you, please like, comment, and subscribe. It would mean so much to me. I have a very tiny following right now, and I'm trying to make this into something. I really enjoy making these videos, and I will reply to your comment. Let's make this a community here of support so we can help each other as fellow nurses and healthcare workers, and take care of ourselves and be healthy. Help ourselves, help each other, help our patients. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.